During the pandemic, Kim and I bought a 28-foot Class C motorhome, small enough to fit inside our hangar when we were not using it. A few months later, we added a smart car to tow behind it, and that launched a series of 6 major trips, including the one we are on now. Those trips have been full of amazing adventures. Trip 1 introduced Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia. Trip 2 added Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. Trip 3 added the Northeast, from South Carolina through Maine, plus Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island. Trip 4 added Tennessee, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ontario, and Quebec. Trip 5 added Oklahoma, Kansas, Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. And on Trip 6, we added Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington, Montana, North Dakota, and Nebraska. This video is from our 6th trip, completing all 48 continental states and 5 provinces. We're in a place called Alpine, Texas, looking for stuff to do. And apparently it's well known for this mural, which I never knew even existed until about 5 minutes ago. Apparently these are 50 legendary Texas musicians, deep in the heart of Texas. Ernest might be somebody I know. I'm not sure, but all these faces, I don't even know how accurate they are. That one right there, that might be the old guy. What's his name? That was a messed up Martin guitar. Yeah, I've forgotten his name. That dude. Maybe is Kenny Rogers way up there? I don't know. Western Texas was dry, plain, and not exactly packed with things to do, so we stayed an extra day, got some work done, and replaced a sewer fitting someone left at the last campsite. Yeah, that was me. Still, we got to see the country, a few scattered Texas towns, and another section of the trip done. Now we are in West Texas. We have left Fort Davis. We're on our way to New Mexico. Right now we are on one of the longest, I think, and coming to my memory, perhaps the longest desolate road we have been on any of our trips. This thing has been going on and on. It's a very narrow road. I'm basically straddling the center of the highway because I get over here into this lane here and it's just not a lot of room. So since there's no cars coming, I go out here and straddle it, and there's a little washboard in the middle which I don't like hitting, but wow. And just look around here. This is just all desolate ranch country, cows that are being supported by land that will support generally no more than about 1 cow per 100 acres, maybe 1 cow per 50 because of the grass. So they're very spread out, and these ranches have to be very large out here in order to be economical. Yeah, we're getting ready to go through an inspection station. A lot of these along the southern border, and they're very casual. Guys come up with guns and they just check to see. They ask if you're an American or not. They are great profilers. They got to be. Everybody is in law enforcement, whether you admit it or not. And by the time we drive up in this motorhome, 2 people here at the wheel, they know we're harmless, but they still ask the questions. I'm not going to film that. That's inappropriate, but this is what we're getting ready to roll up into right now. On a trip like this, much of it is spent doing this, driving. We decided on this trip to go pretty hard at the beginning, and we're still just slightly into our 2nd week. And we are slowly arriving at the area where we're going to throttle back and begin to not move around quite so much and not so quickly. But meantime, this works well in a motorhome. All beings get used to it. Sandy has her spot. Piper has hers. Kim right now is making coffee for us. And our routine is travel routine, but we'll be out of this pretty soon, probably by tomorrow. We are traveling along a road what is known as historical or historic 80, which is in very far southwest part of New Mexico. and we're well ahead of schedule, so we decided to basically stop here and pull our chairs out and have some lunch and overlook the beautiful weather and the beautiful view, and just take advantage of this great location in the day. We are driving west on 80 right now towards Bisbee, Arizona. If you look out to the left, you can't see it in this video, but there is a black strip out there, and that is the border wall, we're pretty sure. So we are now at the wall right on the Mexican border. It's a two-layer wall here, and then there's one there. I don't know what this road is, so there's no trespassing signs, which we will respect, of course. But that is a Mexico on the other side. Of course, they got the barbed wire. I guess there are guys that'll actually try to climb that thing. That barbed wire is amazing what they've done here. But this is the wall. This is down near Bisbee area, and on the southern border of Arizona. And now I have gotten to see the wall. Pretty cool. Big radar equipment there. I was going to fly my drone. My drone app says it's all clear to fly, but Kim was a little concerned because of things she's read, and she's probably right. So we decided to just get our views from the ground and feel satisfied with that.
All right, young man, get suited up here. And you're ready, Seth?
Bisbee was built on copper, and the mine tour gave us a real feel for that history. We rode into the old workings, saw how rough and confined the conditions were, and came away with a better appreciation for the miners who carved that town out of the Arizona hills.
The deepest shaft we have here in Bisbee, Arizona is the Campbell, 3,334 feet. So, to get from surface all the way down to the bottom of the Campbell shaft using one of those cages, it would take you about 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Fine. Because of course, the restroom has to be portable. There's only so much ore in each location, so you have to move the restrooms around. And also, they're very limited in the amount of space they have in the mine. So what did they figure out? They modified an ore car, and they put 2 holes in the top of that thing. Yes, indeed.
The Lavender Pit in Bisbee is a huge reminder of how much copper mining shaped this town. Standing at the edge, you can see the scale of the open pit operation, the cut layers of rock, and the impact mining had on both the landscape and the people who built their lives around it. Well, after a tour of the mine and going out seeing the actual wall, came back to a very cool site. It's very cool, about 75 degrees right now. Tonight's going to get down to about 47. And you can see the mountains in the far. We're in a valley, very, very expansive valley. Those mountains, I'm going to guess, are 20 miles away. Don't know exactly.
It actually is the outside access portal.
We did a tour of a southern Arizona site. Is the Titan Missile Museum, not a Minuteman site. It was part of the Cold War Titan II missile system, built in the early 1960s and operational from 1963 until it was deactivated in the 1980s. This was one of the large underground missile complexes tied to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base near Tucson, and today it is preserved as a National Historic Landmark. The site held a Titan II intercontinental ballistic missile, one of the most powerful land-based nuclear missiles the United States ever deployed. The facility was manned around the clock by trained Air Force crews working 24-hour alert shifts, ready to respond if launch orders ever came. On the tour, you go below ground through the blast doors and tunnels into the Launch Control Center and then to the missile silo itself. It is impressive, but also sobering because the place still feels like a working Cold War machine. So we are some sort of Sonoran desert outside of Tucson, elevated a bit on a hill, a bunch of neat cacti, and we're sitting here having lunch. there was a museum out here that we could go to that would wander us through these grounds, and they would charge us $60 for that, for Kim and me. And I got into this place using my senior pass. So after our lunch, making a quick little run up to the top of Signal Hill and walking through the forest of cactus. That is the direction of our little car, sitting there waiting for us. And I don't know what the name of this valley is, but there it is. Arizona has more peaks than any other state in the United States, so I am told. But of course the peaks are these jagged tops like that. Anyway, a little windy up here, but anyway, these are from our ancestors. These are going to look good. Pretty cool. Look at that. Somebody having fun. And sat here for all these years, and people are tending to leave it alone, which I do appreciate. That's pretty cool. I know we've done this before near Phoenix, but it's neat to get up near one of these things and look at the details of it. Pretty cool. Definitely prickly, and they're pretty hard too. They're not, they don't bend easily. Definitely you would not want that thing to scrape against the bod. Kim and I found a place on top of Mingus Mountain, which is right off of Sedona. We're way above, as you can tell, the valley down there. Drove quite a ways to get up here. That is the, I think, called Verde Valley, which is where Sedona is. So when you're down in that valley and you're looking at these beautiful hills there, you're down there looking up. Right now we're up looking down, which is really cool. And we brought up our heavy protein food here for lunch. And we're just gonna sit on that side of the table and watch it. Jerome is apparently a town built mostly on about a 30-degree slope. And you believe it when you see it. We're kind of in the back of a store right here. It's got a lot of kaleidoscopes and things. And then if you look out over this way, you're looking at a pretty substantial view of the Verde Valley, but there's a church out there. And that church has no roof on it, so I'm guessing there's not a lot of rain out in this area to screw it up. If I'm not mistaken, this is the sliding jail of Jerome. Jerome Sliding Jail is a small landmark with a big story. Built in 1905 on a steep mining hillside, it began to move years later as blasting and unstable ground caused the land to shift. By the 1930s, the jail had slid downhill roughly 200 feet. Today it stands as a strange but fitting reminder of Jerome's copper mining past, a town literally shaped by the ground beneath it. Yeah. Now we're heading down from Jerome, down the hill back toward our campsite. Jerome's a very charming place. We like the shops that have things in it you don't find anywhere else, not many other places. I think it's that Sedona vibe, you know, where everybody's a little bit off base in Jerome. Same thing with Sedona. So people are drawn to that. So here everybody is trying to be eclectic. Tuzigoot National Monument sits on a ridge above the Verde Valley, not far from Sedona. It was built by the Sinagua people who lived in this area roughly 800 to 1,000 years ago. The name Sinagua means without water, but these people were anything but helpless in the desert. They farmed, hunted, traded, and built a multi-room pueblo using stone, mud mortar, timber, and careful knowledge of the land. At its peak, Tuzigoot had more than 100 rooms and may have housed several hundred people. From the ridge, they had a commanding view of the valley, nearby water, fields, and travel routes. Walking through the ruins, you get a sense of both the hardship and intelligence behind the place. It was not just a ruin, it was once a working community built by people who knew how to live in this landscape. This will be a memorable restaurant. I mean, it's nothing too fantastic, but it's a wine tasting thing. And what's the name of this town? Douglas something. Anyway, in Arizona. It's a fantastic view out the back with canyons, the Verde Valley, which is near Sedona. And really nice architecture in here. They got all the exposed stuff like everybody wants nowadays. And we're going to share a nice low-carb meal. So we were not real smart. We decided to walk up the steps, and then we're going to take the little car down. We do things backwards, Kim and me. It's her fault, not mine.